would be dangerous. Could it be that the Huang family is connected to the monsters? As Chen Feng considered these thoughts, his expression grew more serious. He also recalled what he had just heard from Huang Laozi about the Yinshengzi. Was that referring to Shuer? Was the Huang family targeting him because of Shuer? Various ideas raced through Chen Feng's mind. He wanted to understand what was happening, but he had too little information. Moreover, after he shot and killed the warrior who was trying to capture Lin Shui, chaos erupted in the Huang family's courtyard. A large number of warriors quickly gathered. Someone exclaimed, "Divine Archer!" In the darkness, killing a first-tier warrior with a single arrow, especially when they saw the arrow piercing through the throat, left many feeling shocked. Their faces showed fear. Meanwhile, hidden in the trees, Chen Feng realized that the Huang family might be colluding with monsters. His heart sank. No wonder so many warriors had gathered. It was far more than the few first-tier warriors known to the outside world. There might even be second-tier or even third-tier warriors among them. I need to be careful, Chen Feng thought. With this in mind, he quietly tried to conceal himself even more. The Huang family wanted to abduct his Shuer, and he couldn't easily retreat now. He glanced at the sky. Dawn was not far off. He wondered if he could hold out until then. At that moment, as Chen Feng pondered these things, a new message appeared on his panel. You have successfully hidden your form in the darkness and deceived dozens of enemies. You have awakened a new skill, Stealth. You have hidden for 10 minutes. Your Stealth skill proficiency 1. You successfully deceived the enemies by hiding. Your Stealth skill proficiency 1. Seeing the updated information on his panel, Chen Feng felt a bit of surprise. He could awaken skills passively. Moreover, after awakening the new Stealth skill, in Chen Feng's mind, some vague techniques for hiding his presence emerged. These made it easier for him to conceal himself among the trees. Meanwhile, in the Huang family's courtyard, Huang Laozi looked uneasy among the crowd. Observing his surroundings, he called out, "I wonder which friend is passing by. If you're in trouble, I, Huang, am willing to offer 500 taels of silver to make a friend." Hearing this, Chen Feng felt anger rise within him. 500 taels? Huang Laozi is too wealthy. This money must come from exploiting the people. Huang Laozi is cunning and ruthless. I must not let him know that I am just a newly promoted warrior, nor my true identity, or I will be in trouble, Chen Feng thought, his expression darkening. At that moment, his face changed slightly, and a cold smile appeared in his eyes. Just as Huang Laozi was speaking, he noticed a figure quietly leaving the courtyard from a corner. The person was dressed entirely in black and wore a black mask. If it weren't for Chen Feng's enhanced vision after awakening his talent, he might not have noticed the warrior at all. If that warrior made a move, he would be discovered, and with dozens of warriors surrounding him, he would have no chance to escape. Chen Feng suppressed his thoughts. 100 steps to hit the target, he thought with a cold snort. In the next instant, he drew his bow and shot an arrow. With a whoosh, the arrow flew. The warrior's expression changed. Upon hearing the sound in the darkness, he shouted, "Over there," pointing in Chen Feng's general direction, trying to dodge the arrow. But in the next moment, he felt a sharp pain as the arrow pierced his heart. He managed to let out a scream before collapsing to the ground. This scene turned the faces of those in the courtyard even paler. It's Brother Niu. Brother Niu is dead? It's the sharpshooter. It must be the sharpshooter. At first, Chen Feng didn't understand why the people in the courtyard were in an uproar. But the next moment, the information that refreshed on his panel made him realize what had happened. You have killed a second-tier warrior with basic archery skills. Your basic archery proficiency 20. You have killed a second-tier warrior. Your killing intent proficiency 10. You successfully concealed your position. Your stealth skill proficiency 5. Messages refreshed one after another, and Chen Feng was surprised. Is he really a second-tier warrior? In our remote village at the foot of the mountain, one of Huang Laozi's subordinates is actually a second-tier warrior? At this moment, Chen Feng was filled with shock. His belief that Huang Laozi was involved with demons and had another identity grew stronger. Moreover, seeing that his basic archery skill had reached an 80% proficiency level, he felt a sense of anticipation. It seems very likely that my basic archery will soon reach a higher level. I wonder what my talent for hitting a target from 100 steps will evolve into? With this expectation in mind, and having successfully shot down even a second-tier warrior, Chen Feng felt more confident. Looking at the chaos in the courtyard, he sneered. In the midst of the confusion, he shot 2 arrows in quick succession. In the darkness, sounds echoed. Ah, accompanied by 2 screams, he had shot through the throats of 2 black-clad warriors. You have killed a first-tier warrior. Your basic archery proficiency 10. Your killing intent proficiency has increased. Your stealth skill proficiency has increased. Your basic archery proficiency has reached 100%. Then, the information flashed and refreshed instantly. Your basic archery has reached 1% mastery. Your initial talent for hitting a target from 100 steps has been upgraded to intermediate talent. Intermediate talent, triple shot. Within 150 meters, you can instantly shoot 3 arrows in succession, either spreading or concentrating your attack points, with enough power to pierce a 1-foot-thick wooden board. Looking at the information on the panel, Chen Feng was slightly astonished. 1 foot thick is about 1/3 of a meter. To be able to pierce through such thick wood means his arrows will have terrifying power and even a lower-tier warrior would find it hard to block, right? In this world, warriors are divided into 9 tiers from the lowest to the highest level, with each 3 tiers forming a level, lower, middle, and upper. Lower-tier warriors are still refining their physical bodies. Chen Feng's eyes lit up. This level of archery had significantly increased his attack power. Moreover, his killing intent continued to rise as he defeated more enemies. Skill, killing intent, progress 38%. Come again, Chen Feng thought, a glimmer of light flashing in his eyes. At the same time, in the Huang family courtyard, fear filled the eyes of some martial artists as a new warrior was shot down. Is there a skilled archer? Quickly hide. Not good. Who is it? The Demon Patrol? This is terrifying, sir. What should we do? Many martial artists were filled with dread. The sight of an enemy lurking in the darkness terrified them, especially since they didn't even know where the enemy was. Huang Laoxi's face also darkened at this moment as he shouted, "It can't be the Demon Patrol. The people from the Demon Patrol are at least 4th-tier warriors. They wouldn't attack like this. In that direction, let's charge together." Based on the strength of the arrows, it's likely just an ordinary 2nd or 3rd-tier warrior. Once we find him, it will be his end. Whoever kills this person will receive a reward of 1,000 silver notes and 10 blood recovery pills. As Huang Laoxi's voice rang out, he directly announced the reward for eliminating the enemy in the night. His eyes were cold. He knew he could easily kill this insignificant foe. However, he was also worried that if he acted, it might attract the attention of the Demon Patrol, especially with so many recent events in the Black Mountain. He couldn't guarantee that nothing would happen. With a heavy reward, brave souls would surely emerge. In that moment, as Huang Laoxi finished speaking, many martial artists who had been hiding began to change their expressions, a hint of greed appearing in their eyes. After some hesitation, one shouted, "Yes, let's kill." If they were strong, why would they attack from the shadows? Right, let's take action. With cold shouts, the first speaker led 3 or 4 others, moving swiftly through the night towards Chen Feng. These individuals were skilled martial artists. They believed that once they found the right position, they could withstand Chen Feng's arrows. However, in the next moment, Chen Feng chuckled softly in the darkness. "They're coming." In an instant, 3 arrows were shot out. A whistling sound echoed through the night. Not good. The 3 rushing forward were filled with horror. But the next moment, they let out a terrible scream. The arrows had almost simultaneously pierced through their throats. Several people were covering their necks, not expecting to be hit at the same time. You used basic archery to kill 3 warriors, gaining 24 proficiency. You killed 3 enemies, gaining 30 killing intent proficiency. Skill, basic archery, proficiency 25%. Skill, killing intent, entry level 75%. As Chen Feng continued to shoot enemies, on a small hill several kilometers away, a figure was watching the Huang family's house. In this figure's pale hand was something resembling a compass, with a red dot flashing, pointing directly at the Huang courtyard. The person whispered, "The aura of the demon cult's minions. It seems that only some warriors have discovered it and are attacking this demon cult hideout." Standing on the hill, the person observed the battlefield of the demon cult minions, their expression calm. Such low-level demon cult members were not enough to make her intervene. However, she was somewhat surprised by Chen Feng, who was hidden in the shadows. She had been deceived when he didn't shoot arrows. Moreover, she was impressed by Chen Feng's archery skills. He's actually an archer, a main attacker on the demon battlefield. How did he appear in this small village? I wonder which faction trained him. The person spoke softly, not directly intervening. preparing to see what this skilled archer could do. She had always maintained a calm demeanor, admiring Chen Feng's archery. This level of skill would be considered good even in some magic patrol academies. However, when Chen Feng shot 3 arrows in quick succession, instantly killing 3 people, the figure on the hill changed expression, eyes filled with shock. 3 in a row? Who is this? An archer of this caliber could provide immense value on the battlefield. Her expression shifted, and she became serious, preparing to head toward that location. Such a skilled archer must not be lost at this moment. Just then, inside the Huang family, Huang Haishan's face was extremely grim as he coldly said, How could this happen? You worthless fool, even if I am exposed today, I will kill you. At this moment, Huang Haishan's face was filled with anger. He was initially able to hide behind these people to avoid revealing himself. However, now, with Chen Feng's arrows attacking, he looked around and found that the dozens of warriors had dwindled to just 3. These 3 were pale and hiding behind rocks and walls, their faces filled with fear. The demon patrol must have arrived, one said. It could be a 3rd-tier archer. We're doomed, another added. Sir, I can't go out. If I show myself, I'll be killed, said the last. The remaining few were pale with fear. Even though they were greedy for the 1,000 taels of silver and the blood-replenishing pills, they dared not act, feeling like turtles hiding in their shells. Huang Haishan's face twisted in anger as he shouted and charged toward Chen Feng's direction. If you want to die, then I'll kill you first and then find that anciency. At that moment, Huang Haishan revealed a porcelain bottle in his hand. As the bottle appeared, both Chen Feng and the figure watching from 1,000 meters away changed their expressions dramatically. It was a small, transparent porcelain bottle, about the size of. Inside, there was bright red blood. Chen Feng's expression changed because, at the moment the bottle appeared, his nutrient absorption skill trembled once again. This was similar to the time he encountered the evil god's blood in the monster-infested area. This made Chen Feng's eyes light up with anticipation. Even this diluted blood has brought me dozens of proficiency points. I wonder if absorbing this entire bottle of evil god's blood could evolve my nutrient absorption skill again? However, the next moment, his expression shifted. After Huang Haishan took out the porcelain bottle, he suddenly laughed wickedly and drank a large gulp of the evil god's blood. My evil god's blood. At that moment, Chen Feng's face turned grim, and he felt a chill in his heart. He had thought of the evil god's blood as his own, but he never expected Huang Laosi to drink it directly. After Huang Laosi consumed the evil god's blood, his aura exploded with power. Boom. It was as if there was a thunderous roar from the ground. Huang Laosi's cultivation level surged dramatically in that instant. Originally, Huang Laosi seemed like an ordinary person. However, in just a moment, he transformed from an ordinary person to a powerful being. His eyes turned blood red, and his exposed skin showed red marks. His hair also became a striking red. Half demon. It was really you last time. Seeing Huang Haishan's transformation, Chen Feng's expression darkened as he said in a low voice. Demons. In the Dacian Empire, everyone knows that once you encounter a demon, there is no mercy. Demons consume the souls and bodies of warriors, while warriors hunt demons. Only some warriors who ally with demons form a group known as the demon cult, followers of evil gods. At that moment, Huang Haishan, rushing forward, finally caught sight of Chen Feng's blurred figure and heard his words. Instantly, the murderous aura around Huang Haishan intensified as he shouted, Chen Feng, it's you. How could you have such archery skills? Did you inherit the demon blade? Seeing Chen Feng, Huang Haishan's expression turned wildly crazed. He sneered, so it's you. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. First, I'll capture you, then I'll take Lin Shui. How about turning you both into tragic lovers? Huang Haishan's chilling words made Chen Feng, who wanted to escape, freeze in place. 3 stars align. Chen Feng's voice was icy. In that moment, he shot 3 arrows in quick succession, aiming for Huang Haishan's heart. However, as soon as the arrows were released, Huang Haishan shattered the first one with a punch. Huang Haishan smirked. This little power can't break my defenses. Kneel before me. But he didn't expect that after destroying the first arrow, 2 more arrows followed. With a loud explosion in the air, Huang Haishan's face paled as he barely managed to dodge a vital spot. The next moment, 2 arrows pierced through his arm. With a cough, he spat out blood, and his expression changed. In that instant, his left arm was severely injured. Chen Feng kept his gaze fixed on Huang Haixing, a cold smile on his face. Is that all you've got? Huang Haixing appeared terrifying, but it was clear he couldn't withstand Chen Feng's arrows. He needs to retreat and keep his distance. Then he can definitely kill Huang Haixing while flying a kite. However, his speed is clearly much slower than Huang Haixing's. In that moment, after being heavily injured, Huang Haixing's face twisted with rage as he shouted, "Come again." He then took out the remaining half bottle of evil god's blood and gulped it down. Instantly, his aura surged wildly, breaking through a limit. 4th rank? Chen Feng's expression darkened. Although Huang Haixing was within the range of his arrows, this sudden speed increase was alarming. With a counterattack, Huang Haixing used his injuries to break through Chen Feng's defenses. Before Chen Feng could react, Huang Haixing charged in front of him and shouted, "Kneel down." With a loud shout, he swung his hand at Chen Feng. Although Chen Feng's face looked grim, he did not hesitate. He coldly shouted, "Iron Fist technique. Extraordinary strength." At the moment he threw his punch, he activated his extraordinary strength talent, doubling his power instantly. Boom. He barely collided with Huang Haixing's attack. With a thunderous sound, Chen Feng's attack was shattered, and he was sent flying. He landed half kneeling on the ground, pale, and coughed up blood. This kind of power. Chen Feng's face was grim. This power far exceeded his current level. Watching Huang Haixing charge at him again, Chen Feng felt a wave of thoughts rush through his mind. His speed was not slow, and with the stealth skill, he had a chance to escape into the mountains or darkness, where he could potentially shake off Huang Haixing. With the 3-star combo, he might even have a chance to shoot Huang Haixing down. Thinking of this, he decided not to linger and prepared to turn and leave. Huang Haixing, seeing Chen Feng getting up and looking lively, was somewhat surprised. At most a 1st rank, and yet you're still alive? He was genuinely shocked. In just a short time, a hint of greed appeared in his eyes. Your strength exceeds that of ordinary people. You must be a warrior with awakened talents. How did you awaken? Tell me what you know, and I'll make it quick for you. Huang Haixing continued to pursue Chen Feng, not considering that Chen Feng could escape. In his view, Chen Feng was now a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, completely under his control. A cold smile appeared on Chen Feng's face. Just as he was about to speak, a whistling sound cut through the night. Not good. In that moment, a red light suddenly streaked across the darkness, striking Huang Haixing directly. He was instantly sent flying, spitting out blood. His face turned pale with fear. A flying sword? The demon patrol. His voice trembled with terror as he turned and ran away. Holding a porcelain bottle filled with the blood of a dark god, he had been cautiously sipping it before, but now he drank it all without hesitation. Amidst the screams, Huang Haixing's body began to mutate. In an instant, he became extremely thin and elongated. He stomped his foot on the ground, and his speed multiplied several times as he dashed into the darkness. The sword energy shot into the night, followed by a scream echoing in the darkness. Then, silence returned. Chen Feng watched this scene, his expression filled with uncertainty. What just happened? The demon patrol? Originally planning to flee, he hesitated, rooted in place, afraid to move. The red light that had pierced the night left him shaken. With his enhanced talent, he could barely make out some details. After the evolution of his talent, it didn't mean his original abilities disappeared. Instead, they merged into a higher level of skill. Thus, Chen Feng's vision had improved. He had been ready to escape, planning to shoot Huang Haixing in the night. But the sudden red light had repelled Huang Haixing, causing him to flee in panic. From the screams that echoed in the darkness, it was clear that even if Huang Haixing survived, he would be in bad shape. Moreover, Chen Feng was shocked by the red light. If he wasn't mistaken, it was a flying sword? Was this a martial arts world or a cultivation world? Various thoughts raced through his mind. Just then, a figure descended from the night. She had a slim figure, dressed in red, with a delicate face. A strand of hair was lifted by the breeze, giving her the appearance of a neighborly girl, yet she radiated a fiery energy. As soon as she arrived, she exclaimed, "These followers of the demon cult truly deserve punishment. It was careless of me." He had complete evil god blood in him. Even after injuring himself, he still managed to escape. But he was hit by my sword energy, so he won't be able to act for the next few months. Where are you from? How did you find this gathering place of the demon cult? The woman in red looked at Chen Feng and asked directly, her eyes shimmering with a fiery glow. Her intense gaze swept over Chen Feng before he could respond. She frowned slightly and said, "Are you already 18? Awakening your warrior talent at this age is a bit late. It seems you must have lacked resources before, which caused the delay. Your hands show strength. Is your talent related to power? And your eyesight seems enhanced too?" As she spoke, there was a hint of regret in her tone. After just a glance, she seemed to understand Chen Feng's condition and asked her questions directly. Chen Feng was shocked to hear her words. He didn't expect that just one meeting would allow her to figure out his situation. In that moment, he felt his skin tighten. This must be a powerful warrior, Chen Feng thought, feeling a mix of awe and surprise. He hadn't anticipated meeting someone so strong in this world so quickly. Based on what Huang Haixing shouted before fleeing, this woman was rumored to be the demon hunter. From what he heard from Lu Yuan, the demon hunter belonged to the official forces. In a short time, various thoughts raced through his mind, and he quickly formulated a response. Chen Feng cupped his hands and said solemnly, "Thank you for saving me, Mississippi. I am from Heishan Village. 3 days ago, I was forced and framed by Huang Laosi. I encountered demons in the mountains and barely managed to escape. I only know how to shoot arrows, so I practiced at home, but Huang Laosi has been trying to kill me these past few days. I had no choice but to fight back. I really didn't expect that Huang Laosi would turn out to be a monster." Chen Feng said. Apart from his own panel, there was basically no hidden information. He didn't know what kind of personality or thoughts this demon patrol officer had. If the other party misunderstood him, he could be killed with a single sword strike. If he had confidence in ambushing the previous Huang Haixing from the shadows, facing the red-clad sword cultivator before him made him feel alarmed all over. She was terrifying. Absolutely not someone he could handle right now. Hearing this, the woman in red showed a hint of surprise in her eyes and said, "You just awakened? And you are from this village?" Chen Feng looked a bit confused and replied, "Yes, I don't know what talent means." He had some thoughts in his mind about the awakening of cultivation skills and various talents. Was this a special ability, or did this world also have such things? The woman in red glanced at Chen Feng and didn't explain much further, saying, "I understand now. The things from the Huang family are your spoils of war. You can take them with you now." Upon hearing this, Chen Feng quickly smiled and said, "If it weren't for the fairy's help in the end, I would have probably died, so these things should belong to you." He had no idea what the personality and thoughts of the woman in red were. Naturally, he wouldn't take these things on his own. After he spoke, the woman in red smiled and said, "I'm not greedy for your little belongings. It's just that the commotion here has attracted the attention of other warriors. Choose 2 boxes for yourself and leave." Chen Feng replied, "Thank you, fairy." In the area, there were about 7 boxes, some over a meter long, and a few were open, containing mostly clothes and similar items. Chen Feng had no particular interest in these. He then chose 2 small closed boxes that were about a foot long and close to Huang Haixing. Besides being easier to carry, these small items might yield better rewards. The woman in red nodded and said, Don't wander around for now. The situation in Black Mountain has attracted quite a few followers of the demon cult. With your strength, encountering even one of them could lead to your demise. I will come looking for you again." Chen Feng was surprised and quickly cupped his hands in gratitude, saying, "Yes, thank you, fairy." Then, he felt no attachment to the other possessions of the Huang family. He turned and left immediately. After all, without the fairy's help, even if he managed to shoot Huang Haixing in the end, he could still suffer serious injuries. There was even a chance of worse outcomes. At that moment, he heard some sounds of movement from a distance, which made his heart race. Clearly, other warriors were arriving. As for what happened in the Black Mountain, he had no desire to investigate. He didn't ask any questions. He knew that the more he knew, the quicker he could meet his end. Right now, he didn't have the ability to handle that. So he turned and left. The moment he stepped into the darkness, he activated his stealth skill. Hidden in the shadows, he made his way back. You were hidden in the darkness, your stealth skill proficiency too. That night, he used many skills and techniques, but he was extremely tired. The only thing weighing on his mind was that Huang Haixing had escaped. From his earlier encounter, it was clear that the woman in red had the ability to kill Huang Haixing, so he wondered why she hadn't acted. The woman stood calmly, and upon seeing Chen Feng enter the darkness, a hint of surprise appeared in her eyes. What happened? Did he really disappear so quickly? If it weren't for her keen senses, it would have been difficult to spot Qinfeng even with the eye. At that moment, the sounds of movement echoed, and several figures landed outside the Huang family residence. These warriors were filled with various energies. Upon seeing the treasures in the houses, some had greedy looks in their eyes. Others were puzzled, asking, "What's going on?" I sensed a battle involving a peak 4th grade warrior here. How could that happen? Are these demon cultists? Some were shocked by the scene before them. A few even wanted to check the belongings left by old 4th Huang. However, at that moment, someone noticed the woman in red examining the bodies and exclaimed, "Divine Phoenix, Sword Cultivator Yunshi? Rank 10th on the human list? She's here too?" Some of them looked on with awe and said, "We didn't know the fairy was here. We should leave." They didn't dare to get any closer and quickly retreated. Only a few people remained, watching the situation and guessing what had happened. At that moment, the woman in red, Yunshi, simply smiled and said, "I just found a gathering point for the evil cult. It's best for everyone to leave quickly if you have things to do." "Yes, fairy, you are impressive." The others looked at her with admiration and awe, and they chose to leave immediately. Then, Yunshi waved her hand, and everything in front of her vanished. In the night, Yunshi glanced at the place where Qinfeng was. She took a step and disappeared into the darkness. As she moved through the night, she held a jade token that glowed with a red light. Yunshi smiled and said, "I wonder if this cult member will bring some surprises." On her jade token, there was a dim red light that kept moving forward. It was none other than Huang Haixing, who had fled earlier. The Demon Blade's secret realm was indeed important, but for Yunshi, destroying the cult's gathering place would also be a significant achievement. At the same time, she arranged for someone to check on Qinfeng's whereabouts. Qinfeng was unaware of what happened next. He only knew that several martial artists had appeared outside the Huang family's courtyard. Fortunately, the Huang family's location was outside Black Mountain Village. Otherwise, it would have affected the village long ago. However, this made Qinfeng feel even more serious. The presence of these powerful martial artists shattered the inflated confidence he had gained from awakening various martial arts talents in recent days. "I'm still too weak. I can't be reckless," Qinfeng thought. Soon, when he returned home, he found that the door, which had been kicked open, was now closed and propped up with wood. "Shuer, I'm back," Qinfeng said softly. "Darling," Lin Shui joyfully replied upon hearing his voice. She hurriedly opened in the somewhat damaged door. As soon as Qinfeng entered the room, Lin Shui rushed into his arms, tears streaming down her face. "Darling, I was so worried about you. Are you okay?" Lin Shui's body trembled slightly. It was only when she felt Qinfeng's embrace that she found a sense of safety. Qinfeng smiled and said, "It's fine. Everything has been resolved. Don't worry, the Huang family is gone, so we don't have to be concerned anymore." Lin Shui was astonished and exclaimed, "What? The Huang family is gone? Dear, can you?" At this moment, Lin Shui felt a bit nervous. She closed the door, unsure and worried. Qinfeng smiled and said, "Yes, I only dealt with a few ordinary henchmen from the Huang family. The main thing is that a powerful person passed by and wiped out the Huang family." He didn't want to say too much, fearing that knowing more would only make Lin Shui more anxious. Lin Shui tightly hugged Qinfeng, wanting to snuggle into his arms like a little cat, and said, "Yes, you're the strongest." Qinfeng embraced Lin Shui as well. The events of the night had made his complicated feelings gradually relax. In the dark, the frightened Lin Shui had fallen deeply asleep in his arms. Qinfeng looked at the night sky, his eyes bright with determination. He thought, "It seems I need to head to the county town soon. It's not safe in this mountain village." He still had 200 or 300 taels of silver, so he could rent a place in the county town and settle down. At the very least, he wanted to ensure the safety of himself and Shuer. He did not want to experience a break-in like tonight again. Now that things had calmed down, he also had some questions. Who was that woman in red? What did she mean when she said she would come looking for him again? Could it be that he might have a chance to enter the demon patrol? Was this an opportunity for a great leap forward? As he pondered these thoughts, fatigue from his body took over, and he fell into a deep sleep. In the morning, he woke up feeling refreshed. He first checked the information panel. When he saw the changes, a hint of surprise appeared in his eyes. "I didn't get a chance to look closely yesterday. Even my killing intent skill has improved?" Qinfeng thought with excitement. "You successfully refined energy for a day, strength 1. You defeated several enemies. Your killing intent skill has increased to 1% proficiency. You awakened a new talent, Strength 1, Spirit 1. Name, Chun Feng Skill, Iron Fist Technique, 15% Proficiency, Skills, Nutritional Absorption, 21% Proficiency, Basic Archery, 11% Proficiency, Yin Yang Technique, 40% Proficiency, Forest Running, 15% Proficiency, Trap Technique, 11% Proficiency, Killing Intent, 1% Proficiency, Stealth, 51% Proficiency. Beginner Talent, Innate Strength, you can refine nutrients daily for 1 strength point. Killing Intent Determined, when enemies enter a radius of several dozen meters around you, they will be deterred by your killing intent, losing focus for at least 0.01 seconds, which decreases as their mental strength increases. Skilled Manipulator, the formations you set up can increase attack power by 10%, and the setup speed is also 10% faster. Like walking on flat ground, when running in mountainous areas, your speed can increase by 10%. Intermediate Talent, 3-star Arrow, you can shoot 3 arrows instantly, targeting the same point or spreading out the attack. Looking at the information on the panel, Chun Feng felt a bit relieved. He was getting stronger, especially with the natural strength talent, which allowed him to increase his strength a little every day. Although it seemed small, it could accumulate over time. He felt that his strength was growing stronger. He wondered how much stronger he would become if he continued to accumulate like this. Moreover, the most important thing was that during last night's battle, his Killing Intent skill had also improved significantly. Killing Intent Determined. This skill surprised him. It was a talent that attacked the mental aspect. It seemed he should consider how to enhance his mental strength in the future. During battle, if he used this talent, even a brief moment of deterrence would be enough for him to counterattack. However, the range was a bit small, only several dozen meters. He wondered how it would improve with upgrades. Next, he turned to the chest he hadn't checked last night, which had a copper lock. When he returned yesterday, it was already very late. Plus, some warriors had been drawn to the area, and he was worried that breaking the lock would make noise and attract attention. So he hadn't checked it then. Now, he could take a good look at what Huang Hai and the others had left behind. As for the copper lock on the chest, he hadn't dared to tamper with it last night for fear of making noise. Now, he had no worries. He took a nearby hatchet and struck down, breaking the box open. When the first wooden chest opened, it revealed a pile of silver. There were about 700 to 800 taels. In addition, there were dozens of silver notes, the smallest denomination being 50 taels, totaling over 1,000 taels of silver. Seeing this, Chun Feng was amazed. Huang Laosi is really wealthy. Lin Shui was also shocked and asked, "Husband, did you bring this back from the Huang family?" Chun Feng smiled and replied, "Yes. After we finish a few things, we will go to the county town." After last night's events, he had already been thinking about moving. Now seeing these items, he felt even happier. With this silver, we won't have too many problems when we get to the county town. Lin Shui was equally astonished. It was the first time in many years that she had seen so much money. She exclaimed, "Husband, you are amazing." Chun Feng smiled and said, "This is nothing. I will make sure you have a better life in the future." He smiled, but inside he still felt a bit worried. From what Huang Laosi said last night, he initially thought it was about obtaining a hunting license, but it turned out to be related to Lin Shui. He was unsure what Yin Shengzi meant. However, since Huang Laosi was from the demon cult, mentioning such things clearly indicated trouble. He would need to investigate this further. Then he moved on to the second box. Chun Feng felt a bit of anticipation. When he saw the second box, he was surprised. It was clearly more exquisite than the first one. However, it only had one clasp and no bronze lock. It gave him a sense of both value and ease of management. He thought to himself, "It seems Huang Laosi believes these items won't be lost, so he didn't lock it?" With that thought, he opened the box. As he looked inside, his eyes widened in surprise. "Is this really what I think it is?" Inside the box, there were layers of soft silk tightly protecting a small white porcelain bottle in the center. Inside the bottle was bright red blood. Blood of the evil god. Seeing this, Chun Feng was thrilled. Previously, he had accidentally refined a trace of demon god blood, which greatly improved his nutrient absorption ability. He felt regret when Huang Haisheng escaped with the evil god blood last night. He never expected to find new evil god blood today. What a great find. He felt a surge of energy within him. This bottle of evil god blood was far more than the trace he had refined before. I wonder if I can refine this bottle of evil god's blood, and if my nutrient absorption skill can be improved to a higher level, Chen Feng thought to himself. He quickly put away the porcelain bottle of demon blood and turned to Lin Shui, saying seriously, "Shuer, you must not tell anyone about this." Lin Shui looked a bit confused but nodded earnestly. "Yes, I understand. My husband. These things are very precious, and I won't tell anyone." Chen Feng nodded. Good. He then prepared to check the situation outside. As long as there was no urgent matter, he would refine the evil god's blood first. Although he was still in the room, he could hear some noisy sounds from outside. It seemed many people were investigating the situation. If he stayed inside for too long without checking, it would seem too deliberate. Just as he stepped out of his house, he heard a relieved voice. "Chen Feng, you're really okay. I was just thinking whether I should check on you all," Lu Yuan said with concern in his eyes. "Last night, we heard some fighting sounds from the village, and one seemed quite close to us. Are you all right?" Lu Yuan looked worried, adding, "I also heard that several bodies have been found in our village. Those warriors are truly terrifying." Chen Feng replied, "Yes, we heard about it too. Some residual energy even hit our house. Those warriors are really ruthless." Thankfully, after returning yesterday, he had dragged a few bodies from his place further away. Otherwise, the morning would have been filled with blood. Lu Yuan nodded. That was indeed lucky. Fortunately, the Great Qian Empire has laws that prevent any warriors from harming civilians. If they do, they will definitely end up on the wanted list of the Demon Patrol, and that would be terrible. Wanted list? Chen Feng asked in surprise. Yes, it's a list published by the Great Qian Demon Patrol for the most dangerous criminals who are being hunted by the patrol and the authorities, Lu Yuan explained. Each one has a bounty of at least 1,000 taels. Chen Feng's eyes lit up. There's such a thing? I wonder how strong you need to be to take on someone from that wanted list. Lu Yuan shook his head. There are no specific requirements. As long as you can bring back the head of the wanted person, you can usually claim the reward. Chen Feng thought, I see now. He felt a bit dazed inside. Although the current Daqian dynasty faced many crises, it still maintained a calm appearance. He continued to listen to the noisy sounds in the village. Various discussions reached his ears. It's terrible. Did you hear? The Huang family was completely slaughtered. What? Is that true? Were those attackers targeting the Huang family? No. I heard that Mr. Huang was a follower of the demon cult and was killed by an inspector from the Demon Patrol. Mr. Huang was a follower of the demon cult? That old man finally got what he deserved. It's about time. There were many discussions, especially when mentioning Mr. Huang, where shock and horror filled people's eyes. A man who had lived in the village for decades turned out to be a follower of the demon cult. Some people were skeptical at first, but once they saw that some of the guards from the Huang family had mutated bodies showing demonic traits, fear and shock spread among the villagers of Heishan. The anger of those who had been oppressed by Mr. Huang finally had a chance to explode. After all these years, many people in Heishan village had gone missing. In the past, villagers were unaware, but now they immediately thought it must be related to the Huang family. Many angry families even stormed into Mr. Huang's home to vent their frustrations on the bodies lying on the ground. Chen Feng and Lu Yuan chatted a bit longer and learned some information. Lu Yuan invited Chen Feng to check out the situation at Mr. Huang's residence. After a moment of thought, Chen Feng decided to go with Lu Yuan to see the scene at the Huang family's courtyard. Last night, Chen Feng hadn't felt much, but seeing the place in the early morning stirred his emotions. He saw numerous bodies lying on the ground, some with broken arrows stuck in them. Fortunately, they were just ordinary arrows, leaving no special marks. The courtyard of Mr. Huang was soaked in a pool of red blood. On the ground, the bright red blood had mostly dried, forming spiderweb-like patterns, which was extremely terrifying. Aside from a few martial artists who occasionally came here to check things out, they quickly left afterward. At first, many villagers were quite restrained. However, once someone took the lead, a large number of villagers began to loot the Huang family's courtyard. Huang Laosi, the bully, is finally dead. Now we can sleep well. Yes, he even stole my family's silver. All these things are mine now. I'm really grateful to the person who destroyed the Huang family village. If Huang Laosi had continued to live, we would have had a hard time. Exactly. If I knew who it was, I would gladly build a monument for him. There were all kinds of discussions happening. Chen Feng stood at the edge of the area, observing the situation. He felt a bit complicated. He had already obtained the most valuable items, so he wasn't interested in anything else. With a sigh, he prepared to leave. However, at that moment, new information suddenly refreshed on his panel, causing him to pause. Looking at the updated information, his eyes were filled with shock. What? How is this possible? You have received heartfelt gratitude from others, and you have awakened a new skill, faith power. Chen Feng was astonished. Faith power? What does this mean? Can this really awaken a new skill? Skill, faith power, entry progress 1%. You can gather faith power from any genuine gratitude or admiration from others. It can be used to enhance mental strength and awaken soul-related talents. As he read this information, Chen Feng's eyes sparkled with excitement. He hadn't expected to gain something like this. Indeed, as the faith power gathered, he noticed white lines appearing above the heads of these people. The other end of these lines seemed to connect to his mind. In a blurry vision, Chen Feng felt he could sense a vague white, ethereal figure. Is this my soul? He murmured, feeling a hint of excitement. Mental strength is related to the soul. He never thought he could awaken this skill. Moreover, the skill's proficiency was rapidly increasing. You have received gratitude from others, your faith power proficiency 1. Similar messages kept refreshing. Power of faith, entry progress 31%. But that's all there is to it. Only a few hundred people came here, and clearly not everyone feels grateful for the fall of the Huang family. Chen Feng didn't pay much attention to it. Now that he knows how to improve this skill and might even gain new spiritual abilities, he feels a sense of anticipation. I should go back and refine that bottle of evil god's blood. No matter how things develop, improving myself is always right, Chen Feng thought. Then, he didn't stay there any longer and went straight home. He closed the door and began a new period of seclusion. He shut the windows and bedroom door, letting Lin Shui provide some cover outside. There shouldn't be any problems, Chen Feng thought. He then took out the bottle of evil god's blood. He didn't dare to risk whether the woman in red could sense the blood. If she comes back, he would refine it then. Without hesitation, Chen Feng opened the porcelain bottle and poured the evil god's blood into his mouth. Buzz. In that instant, Chen Feng felt a massive surge of energy rushing into his body. Moreover, he could faintly hear a terrifying howling sound, as if it was rushing toward his mind. The newly awakened skill, power of faith, provided a mental boost that helped him withstand this impact. A sharp pain struck him. Chen Feng was a bit alarmed. What's happening? Just as he was worried, information quickly refreshed on the panel. You are refining the evil god's blood. Your nutrient absorption skill proficiency is continuously increasing. Your nutrient absorption skill proficiency 555. While Chen Feng was refining the evil god's blood, on the other side, in the Black Mountain, at this moment, the woman in red, Yunxi, was swiftly moving through the forest. In her hand was a jade token, with red light points flickering on it. She was tracking the fleeing Huang Laosi. However, at this moment, the red light point on the jade plate was sometimes bright and sometimes extremely dim, as if it could disappear at any moment. This made Yunxi's expression cold, and she murmured, "Only a higher-level formation can hide my tracking plate." Her eyes sparkled with bright light. There really is a gathering point for the demon cult in this Black Mountain. Could it be related to the secret realm of the demon blade that appeared in Black Mountain? Yunxi pondered. She originally intended to focus on Huang Laosi to gather information about Black Mountain, but she unexpectedly lost track of him. Now, the red light above was constantly flickering, making it hard for her to determine the direction.
So this showed up on my feed this morning, and I was like, oh, what is this? Harmful Opinions, quickly becoming one of my favorite channels. This guy's good. He doesn't necessarily like me, but you don't have to like me for me to like you. That's fine. He's a very good content creator, and he works extremely hard with his research, and he gets things very right and very accurate. Alyssa Mercante's Lies by Omission, he goes through a series of events of what Alyssa does with her video and breaks down how she takes things out of context and then does the work of providing the full context. Specifically, a lot of it is focused on me and what I actually said. And I'm like, thank you, because I didn't have the time to do what this guy did. I'm like, thank you for providing the full context for people, because this is a banger. So let's go through.
Things on the internet for long enough. If you talk about things on the internet for long enough, eventually you will make a mistake. When discussing something, you'll miss out an important piece of information because maybe you didn't find it. Maybe you didn't think it was.
Oh, good point. Odin Darkle says the single dislike is Alyssa. I wouldn't be surprised.
It was, a slip up in coverage. And that is very different to what is known as a lie by omission, which is when you say only things that are true or technically true, but deliberately don't say things you know would give a more accurate picture, making the totality of what you've said a lie, despite each piece of that lie being true. Alyssa Mercante apparently likes to do this a lot. Yesterday, I watched a video of hers called
Is that
Hate
better
Me
or is
Gets
that
Them
too loud?
Views, Here's My Story, and I'm going to quickly show you 3 examples. The first of which is a repeat. A rerun. You see, she points to an article she wrote last year.
In March of 2024, I wrote a story that would forever change my life. I didn't expect it to. It was just a report dispelling a conspiracy theory that had gained traction in the dank caves of the internet.
If you actually go and read that report yourself, you will see that it is also coverage of a very specific event. She points out in her March 2024 article that late the prior month, one of Sweet Baby Inc.'s consultants discovered a Steam group dedicated to detecting games that Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on. That's true. That did happen. But more than that happened.
Which, again, this is the problem that a lot of people have with Alyssa. This is actually, I would venture to guess, why she does not like me very much, is because initially when I started covering her, I started doing this stuff, pointing out how she was only providing half the story and not telling the full truth on things, lying by omission, which seems to almost be at this point a trait. You could even argue a skill for her, where it's like how she approaches life. She does not provide the full story. She will make sure to angle it just to provide the insight of what she wants you to know about, and everything else doesn't exist.
The consultant in question was calling not only for people to report the group, but for people to target the creator of the group. Quote, since he loves his account so much. A spiteful attack intended to dispossess someone who had done nothing wrong of their Steam games library. This, specifically, is what ignited what's known as Gamergate 2. And there is zero chance that Alyssa was not aware of that. She deliberately dances around it though, claiming the conversation around Sweet Baby Inc. has ignited a fundamentally misinformed Gamergate-esque firestorm. Saying the things she has in this article without ever outlining Chris Kindred's specific behavior is absolutely a lie
Well, it's a straight up, well, hold on.
by omission.
It's a straight up lie by omission. And that's what people had an issue with. Still to this day they do. And by her taking the standpoint of she still stands by that article and is still extremely proud of that article to this day is extremely disingenuous to anyone that cares about the truth. Not people don't care about her truth, which I think is why she takes things so personally. It's like, no, we come to you for the truth. We don't want to hear you spin it in a way to make us think a certain direction. Just tell us what happened.
In her video, she proceeds to summarize that report and once again omits the single most important piece of information to include when talking about that whole shitstorm.
The report stated that a consultant working at the time with Sweet Baby Inc. discovered a 100-person strong curation page on the video game marketplace site Steam.
100.
Christopher Lloyd said they take Ryan's channel down, gone, and banned him, but Alyssa stays. Okay. Someone must love Alyssa. Simp.
Person strong? Was it really that small at that point? Maybe she misspoke, but lowest I remember seeing it was a couple thousand.
She definitely misspoke because it was like at least 1,500 or 2,000. Maybe it was even like 25, 2,600 at that time. Saying it's 100 people, I'm like, no, it was more than that, but whatever.
Damn, that really is some explosive growth. We can see from archives that between March 1st and March 2nd, it got 16,000 new followers. A few days later, it broke 100K. Alyssa would have you believe that just kinda happened. There's no specific inciting incident. And the Sweet Baby consultant
It just happened because gamers are bigots. That's why. That's the rationale.
simply found it. They didn't do anything, they just found it. Is she proud of this coverage?
It's something that I remain proud of more than 365 days after it
That is embarrassing to say.
published, but it forever changed my life.
Yes. Yes, she is proud of it. And, lady, that's a year. Gamers didn't break your fucking spine. They said some nasty shit about you. Stop being stupid right now, and you will recover. Anyway, given that her video opened with a statement of pride that she deceived people now and last year, I was on high alert for things that could be missing. And it's at this point that I must make a disclosure. The next 2 lies by omission relate to a guy who goes by Smash JT. You should know that he liked my Sunground coverage and he super chatted me like $20 or something. I just think you should know that so you can judge if you think I'm doing this because of that or something.
Which, by the way, I wasn't trying to super chat him to buy him off like probably Alyssa or those types of people would think. I'm like, no, I was just very grateful for his content that he was putting out there. I wanted to say thank you to him. Like, it was legit. Like, this guy is good. You're allowed to do that, right?
So, later in her video, there's this little snappy section where she tries to make a point. She uses a series of clips to create the impression that Smash JT and others are guilty of inciting doxing attempts by Smash JT's standards. She plays this clip.
By giving the full name, you are subtly implying that you are encouraging your audience to proactively dox a person.
Alyssa,
She then plays a huge number of clips of people saying her name. I'm not going to play them all. And caps it off with a bunch of examples of Smash JT specifically saying her name. Damn, she got him. He said by saying someone's name, you're implying that people should go and dox them. He said those words, right? It's a video clip. And he said her name a bunch of times, so he's doing that. Well, unfortunately,
Which is funny because, like, I didn't even pick up on what she was doing because I was just like, this feels like a bunch of, like, incoherent clips just slapped together while I'm watching it. But him explaining it this way, I'm like, oh, that's what she was doing. She was taking something out of context and then trying to show that I did what I said that she's doing, and that makes me a hypocrite. But it doesn't show the context of what I said.
Fortunately for Alyssa, it is very, very easy to find the context. And he was not saying what she snipped the clip to make it sound like he was. In fact, in that very statement, he explains why he thinks it's okay to say her name. It's what he says directly before what she snipped out. So there's no way this was an accidental omission. I'll play it for you right now, and I'll click to remind you of where her cut was.
And then she uses my full name, by the way, and I'm going to black it out here because I don't use my full name. That's kind of like a unwritten rule when it comes to social media. You address the person based off of what their username is. Everyone knows that who stays in bounds. And Alyssa Mercante's username and her editor, she's literally listed on her website as editor Alyssa Mercante. Her Twitter is Alyssa Mercante. Everything has her full name, so I address her as such. If it was something else, I would address her as Alyssa or whatever it was. But by giving the full name, you are subtly implying that you are encouraging your audience to proactively dox a person.
Absolutely shameless manipulation, given what she tried to imply by combining that snippet with a bunch of examples of him saying her name. By the way, as a quick aside, I don't really agree with Smash JT that it's incitement to dox. I'd characterize hitting someone who's pseudonymous with their real name more as an intimidation tactic.
Oh, well, I would push back on that and disagree. I see where he's coming from because typically, yes, I'd agree that's the case. But with Alyssa, it's different because she has a cohort of people that you could argue may not be above board with the things they do and how they act on the internet. So if she starts dog whistling stuff, it's almost like a signal to start digging at that person and try to find out about them, try to ruin their life, try to do things. that you should not ever do to somebody. So in this case, I'd say it's a little bit different, but I see where he's coming from.
It's a direct, I know who you are, more than a get him kind of thing.
Yeah.
But either way,
Again, with most people, I'd agree, but with Alyssa, no, I disagree.
it certainly is an aggressive move. That's not to say people haven't said and done nasty things to Alyssa, but it ain't quite as one-sided as she wants to make it look. And on the subject of what appears to be a genuinely nasty thing done to her, she tells us about this.
Imagine knowing your boss, your coworkers, your peers, your friends, and your family are also getting messages like this simply because they're associated with you.
Somebody decided to buy the, was it Mercante is her sister's name? Mercante.com. Somebody got this domain and began emailing her sister from it. Just think that is fucking hilarious.
Unless I'm missing some details in it.
That was a obvious cut right there. Obvious cut. She's going out of her way to misrepresent what people are saying, which, again, I'm no lawyer, but I feel like that's illegal to do.
Turns out her sister's a public figure in her own right and is intertwined with Alyssa somehow. Publicly, that is some real weirdo behavior. Could even be quite intimidating. But here's the problem. This is the next thing she plays in her video.
Apparently, her sister's website has been hacked or taken over, or domain has been purchased and now used to harass her. Can't help but look at the situation and laugh.
Now, this one was really slick. I don't think a casual viewer would ever notice the snip. I think it gives the impression.
It was a really good cut to be deceptive, because here's how you know. I watched it and I didn't even pick up on the cut. I was just like, man, there's got to be surrounding context before I said that, but that cut itself sounds natural. It sounds like I didn't even stop talking. And I'm the one that said it. And even I was like, yeah, I guess, but I must have said something before that. But this was a while ago, too.
Impression that his video contained exactly this.
To harass her. Can't help but look at the situation and laugh.
The cut she made happens in the same way you might do it in your own video.
Exactly. Which is why I was like, damn, it's a good fabrication she did there.
And that is how it happens. Just not then. And I think her omission significantly mischaracterizes him. Finger clicks at either end of the bit she cut out.
Now used to harass her. And while I do not condone doing this to anybody for any reason at any time whatsoever, wow, it's almost like I've been saying this from day one. Weird. I wonder why she cut that out. I can't help but look at the situation and laugh.
It will be fine for you to make the point that his condemnation of it doesn't matter. But what I'm not cool with is making it look like he didn't do that. By removing that part, you make it look like he's just totally gleeful it happened, because that shit's just great. But he also says something immediately afterwards that wasn't included.
Well, if it's not the consequences of my actions coming back to haunt me once again.
Wait, what the hell does that mean? What did Alyssa do? Well, it sort of comes up in her video. In one of the clips, two guys are looking at one of her tweets. She mentions, DMing your wife after you've been harassing me for weeks is not remotely comparable to the sister website thing. Excuse me? I did a quick Google and apparently Alyssa Mercanti engages in some of that weirdo behavior herself.
So he didn't even know that she did this. It's starting to get out there now about her. Like, I thought that this was like out there already, but damn, I guess the more time that goes by, the more people find out about her.
May 7th, 2024, she asked Smash JT, so you think it's funny that you platformed a man threatening to kill me? Based on other tweets of hers, this is ostensibly about Smash JT retweeting this guy. I took a quick look at him.
Alyssa is a problem. She's brainwashing our kids, guys. Gamers for Trump, gamers against propaganda. I'm getting flat screeners into virtual reality. I'm showing parents, even non-gamers, my content is special, it's cinematic, and with some hype. For the non-gamer, that virtual reality is a great way to control content and wokeness until we weed.
I'll leave it up to you, dear viewer, to decide how reasonable you think it is to be frightened of this fellow.
Like, I remember when I first saw that, I'm like, this. Polished Production is sometimes in the chat here, by the way. And I remember seeing that, I was like, this is fucking weird, but hey, he's supporting my cause and I'll retweet it. That's literally what I thought about it. And she lost her mind about that. Apparently everything's my fault, though. Even global warming, right? It's been going on for about a year now, yeah. Over a year, yeah.
In any case, in that thread we were looking at, Alyssa continued, "Anyway, I found your wife's Facebook and asked what she thinks about the father of her children harassing a woman online and laughing when she shares that someone they're supporting has been threatening to kill them for weeks." On his website, SmashJT shared what she wrote to his wife, and I would call it deranged and insulting, saying, "I certainly wouldn't want my partner doing what he's doing," is a direct judgment of her, not just of him. The
Right. That's her trying to get into my wife's head, being like, hey, if I were you, I would start considering who you're with right now. Like, who the fuck are you, bitch? What? Who does this? You are legit padded room insane. Nobody does this.
implication of saying you wouldn't be with someone like that is clear. SmashJT, perhaps without even watching it, retweeted a clip of some schizo. You are the schizo in his wife's Facebook messages. You know what? I would laugh too if someone who behaved like this toward my girlfriend got a taste of their own medicine. I'm of the opinion that all this context completely changes the meaning of what he was saying. Never mind his condemnation that you cut out. And so that...
Exactly. You come at my wife and my relationship, like, you better expect me to have some sort of reaction. Like, she expects that she just has free reign to do whatever fuckery she wants in people's lives. And then, oh, you're not allowed to even make a video to talk about it. Or else she'll call that harassment on herself. Fucking 4D chess. Holy shit, that's impressive.
That's lie by omission number 3. There's probably a lot more, maybe even in that video alone, but these were the most obvious to check. And now a final little bonus nugget for the people who have watched this far. As a courtesy, I censored Alyssa's sister's name, but I don't actually believe she cares. If people online were messing with someone in my real life, and I wanted to...
She doesn't. She talks about her sister all the time publicly with her full name. All the tweets are still up. She hasn't deleted any of them, but she's trying to pretend now that this happened, oh my God, this is private. You're not supposed to talk about her. Oh, that's like, do I think it's okay? No, I don't condone it at all. But damn, I'm not contacting your sister and telling her that you're crazy. Like, that's nuts.
Protect their info, and I'm a journalist covering stuff online who would absolutely know about doing this. I would have scrubbed my socials of detail.
I think so. I don't really remember what her sister looks like. I have not looked up her sister since Alyssa brought her up a long time ago.
About them. First thing, immediate, obvious. However, to this very day, Alyssa Mercanti has a tweet up telling everyone her sister's name and showing a picture of her.
Yep, that's where I saw it, was Alyssa posting it.
I would have scrubbed that shit in an instant. And it does only take an instant to
I guarantee you that is now deleted at this point, after this video's up. Guaranteed.
When the website stuff originally happened as well, she didn't censor it. The black bars are added by me. She was blasting her sister's name out there far and wide. 5 days ago, she agreed with me. Obscuring these details is a really obvious basic step to take if you're concerned about harassment. Yeah, no brainer. Why wasn't she doing it before now though? This lady's just weird as hell.
Great video. Fantastic. By Harmful Opinions. And yeah, it's good to see the truth get out there about Alyssa Mercante and how manipulative she really is. Like, what she did, as far as I understand, is illegal. Could you imagine if I did that to her? The conniption, hissy fit she would throw if I cut her out of context, cut her words up and splice them together to make it sound like she's saying something she didn't. Like, she would lose her mind, add that to the lawsuit, and use it as, oh, intimidation, harassment, all this other stuff. Well, bitch, you doing it to me. What the hell? This is crazy. Nightbringer text, she says, do it back to her. Just label it as Y2P and satire. She'll still lose her mind and you'll be legal. She'd still add it to the lawsuit, though. And I don't want to stoop to her level either. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. That's not who I am. That's not how I've ever been. Just because she's doing it doesn't make it okay. Gristle McThornberry for the 2. Is she LARPing as the guy from Powder? I've seen people suggest that she's LARPing as Uncle Fester. Just in time for the 2. Alyssa, Kojak wig and Adam Driver mask isn't working. Yikes. Deathcracker for the 5. I think he missed something.
there is a secret measuring tool that men use that might help you out. Man, I need some new nursing bras, but I have no idea what size I am because they've changed so much. My husband goes, hold up, I got this. Proceeds to walk up to them and just...
I knew it! What the hell did he just do something with his hands and he actually got
one. Until finally he goes, this one, it was perfect.
Hi YouTube, welcome back in hell. My name is Cypress and today we'll be watching another Defecate video. This is Womansplaining Men to Women 52 to 55.
So this creator matched with a gentleman on Bumble, they set up a date, and then the night before he sends her this. Hey there, I was excited for tomorrow and did a little pre-date Googling just now and saw your TikTok. Well, I thought some of the videos were funny, others, for example, the one about all men being trash, made me pause and gave me the impression we're not the right partner.
Why is it always the subpar motherfuckers that end up ghosting? Like, you show up to the date and you're kind of like, yeah, he's not as good as a profile, but like, we'll work it out. And then the date doesn't go that well, but you're like, well, it was probably a first date. I had jitters, he had jitters. It could be better, so we'll try again. And then they have the audacity to ghost you.
But it's so funny because she says, what was the word she used? She calls him subpar. Just because you think he is subpar doesn't mean that you're way better than him or anything like that.
That end up ghosting. Like, you show up to the date and you're kind of like, yeah, he's not as good as a profile, but like, we'll work it out. And then the date
Like,
doesn't
maybe
go that
anything's
well.
the same.
Probably first date, I had jitters, he had jitters. It could be better, so we'll try again. And then they have the audacity to ghost you? Like, baby, look in the mirror. How am I dating down and you're ghosting me?
I find this so dumb. Like, it doesn't even matter what the guy looks like or what she looks like. If you're a shit person, you're a shit person, okay? I mean, she does sound like a shit person, like the fact that she's making this video. You could be the prettiest person out there. That doesn't mean that every single person that goes on a date with you should, like, feel, like, honored and put you on a pedestal because of that. I have to say, though, was that guy really that subpar if she is this emotional about it? If he was, shouldn't you be happy that he didn't want to go on a second date?
Yeah, run home and tell your friends you didn't want to go out with a hot girl again.
Oh, he must not have read the signs. See, she is so hot that you have to be this attractive to reject her. Anything lower than this attractive, you're so ugly that you have to do whatever she says.
Yeah, that's stupid.
No, but for real, this is really goofy. I'm
It
just getting
is.
nice guy, whatever, I didn't want you anyways vibes. Here's the thing, he didn't ghost you because he's subpar. He ghosted you.
Oh, sorry, he ghosted. I mean, if you make a video like that, I can already see, like, your personality. That probably also means that he could see your personality, and it's not a good one.
Because he could tell that you see him as subpar.
Yeah.
If you view a man as less than yourself, he's gonna pick up on that. A man is looking for someone who's gonna see him as an equal, not someone to idolize, to worship.
I find that funny because, like, we're all searching for that. We're all searching for someone that doesn't see themselves as above us, right? But I guess maybe she's searching for someone that's below her, so that's really bad.
Once he finds someone who treats him as an equal, then he will worship the ground she walks on. But he knew you were never gonna see him as a king. No one's too hot to get rejected. No one's too hot to get ghosted. And no one's too hot to get out of getting called out for making a post so superficial and entitled.
Yes.
So next time you want to call a guy subpar, make sure you aren't crying over him first.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you call him subpar, but you make this video that makes me think you probably didn't think he was that subpar, because otherwise, why are you so emotional?
So this creator matched with a gentleman on Bumble, they set up a date, and then the night before he sends her this. Hey there, I was excited for tomorrow and did a little pre-date Googling just now and saw your TikTok. Well, I thought some of the videos were funny, others, for example, the one about all men being trash, made me pause and gave me the impression we're not the right partner fit.
Yeah, probably
to which she, of
not.
course, replies, I love when they tell on themselves.
What
The
did they
ironic thing
tell?
about this video is that he isn't the one who told on himself, she is. That's the whole reason he was able to glean enough red flags to call off
Yeah.
the date. I think Googling someone before a date is super
Oh, is that
normal.
what she's talking about? That he Googled her? But that is so normal to do. I think everyone should be doing that. I don't know why you would not do that. If you haven't met each other yet, you've been talking on a dating app, to be safe, just Google him or her or whoever you're about to go on a date with. You don't want to end up with a serial killer or something. Being catfished, I don't know. I think it's super normal to do this.
And something you should honestly be expecting at this
Yes.
point. I don't know if you know this, but if you give someone your phone number, there are apps that can generate every single social media that you have off of that. I know it's really popular right now for creators to be making accounts just for the purpose of bad dating stories and criticisms of men like this creator has, but you can't blame guys for not wanting to be that next bad dating story
I wouldn't
or
want to be
criticism
either.
piece for your content. If he was able to find that page through a very preliminary Bumble search, it is very tied to your identity, by the way. It's not really a radical concept that a man might not want to be publicly associated with a woman who posts things like this.
Me when being mean to men becomes... What the f***? Hey, you want to date a man?
It really is a fascinating timeline to watch women post publicly about how little they think of men, and then have the audacity to literally post where have all the good men gone.
But honestly, it's so damn funny, man. It's so damn funny. My first language is not English, so sometimes when I'm trying to explain this stuff, I feel like I'm not really getting everything across that I'm trying to say. But I try my best, and I hope you understand. If I'm a woman, I am a woman, what? I am a woman, right? If a guy would publicly state everywhere and also tell me that he hates women, but at the same time he wants to go on a date with me, why the f would I go on a date with a guy that says that he hates women when I am women? If he hates all women, then means he hates me too, even if he says he doesn't, because he literally said he hates all women, and all women includes me. Say that if it really is true that I'm like one of the only women that he does like, I would feel so insecure and unhappy in my relationship probably, because someone who, I guess his opinions are so strong, right? Or her opinions in this case, they're so strong that she keeps on making videos about it, right? And posting it on TikTok. So that means that I have to hear that every single day, how he hates all women around me. But that also means at the same time that what if I have the same morals as these women that he's bad-mouthing? Or like I had the same ideas as those women that he's bad-mouthing? What would that do to me mentally, you know? So no, he has all the right to do that. He didn't do anything bad.
Ma'am, they're in hiding, and women like you put them there. Men, by now I'm sure you've learned the number one thing a woman never wants to be to you is your mama. It is known. But ladies, one thing that took me a little bit too long to realize myself is that they also don't want you to be their mother. And it might not feel like it, right? Because he might let you clean up after him. He might let you take over the schedule, right? He definitely wants you to take care of him when he's sick. All things that a mother might do.
I would like him to take care of me too when I'm sick. That seems normal. This is what you do for your partner.
That doesn't mean that he wants you to mother him. If there's a Venn diagram between a mother's love and a partner's love, all of the aforementioned examples are gonna be in the middle. But I'm telling you, he only wants the partner parts and the middle parts, not the mom parts. And we can't say that's too unlike ourselves. If a person starts providing something, be that cooking, cleaning, paying the bills, we are going to naturally allow that to happen. I mean, if a man takes it upon himself to start paying for the majority of bills and dates and trips, we aren't going to complain about that. But are most men leaving their messes behind with the expectation that you are supposed to pick up after him? No. Nor should you be picking up after him unless, and hard unless, you genuinely want to help him and aren't just pocketing it as resentment fodder for later. Best thing to do to get on the same page and away from the weird Freudian dichotomy is to talk to each other the way parents and children don't. Sit down and take turns laying out what chores you're already doing, because you might not even realize what the other person does. Then talk about chores that still need to be done and divide them out without anybody bossing each other around. Take the time to hear out why a person does or prioritizes things the way they do. And do it over wine and cheese.
We're not all the same.
Tequila shots, because moms and dads don't do that with their kids now, do they? You are lovers. You are lovers who share a home. So no matter how much you annoy each other, put that first when you talk to each other, because trust me, neither of you wants you to be the mom.
That there's this guy, and I called him to ask if he wanted to hang out, and he was like, no, sorry, I can't. I was like, oh my god, what is going on today? Like, no one wants to hang out. You were literally the last person. He got so mad. He was like, what number am I? What number?
Wait, why would...
Then I told him 9.
Wait, she told the guy that she asked other guys before him to hang out, and he was like the last one?
He was so mad.
I don't get what is funny. I'm so confused. What is happening here?
It was so funny. I love to humble a man.
This is such cope.
Why? You called him!
She literally just got rejected, then made up a fake roster to try to put him down for rejecting her, and she thinks that he's the one getting owned.
Yeah, she's really coping.
Even if this roster was real, all you're doing is telling him how many times you rejected before he also rejected you. And why does he need to be humbled? Like, what makes him tough?
Oh my god, I just realized she got rejected 9 times. Damn.
Write this down, boys. Saying no to women is toxic, so... don't do that. The comment section is also full of chicks with zero self-awareness, posting their L's and thinking they're flexing. One time a guy I was on a date with asked when the last time was I hooked up with someone. I was like, you really want to know? Last night. He was in his feels.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure you'd be in your feels.
Yeah, I want to say, like, why do they all pretend like they wouldn't feel the same way? If that woman that was, like, laughing at the guy after she said, oh yeah, you were the 9 guy I called, as if she wouldn't feel, like, mad and upset if he would say that to her.
Two, if you're your date told you he just got done being inside of someone else. It's just not the most attractive thing to hear. A guy asked me what I would be doing if he didn't ask me out. I said likely having dinner with someone.
Why the fuck would you say that?
He was probably just trying to figure out what kind of activities you
Why are they so aggressive?
like to do outside of dating.
They're
but
so
yeah, let's just
aggressive.
make everything a personal attack.
Yeah.
Always ask, why did your barber do that to your hair?
Why would you?
This is the same shit that made you guys hate Andrew Tate. This actually is really good dating advice if you only like having first dates. I'm sure there are some groups who appreciate
only
this
like having
trend
first
of women
dates.
being these independent bad bitches who can be mean to men because they don't need them. But most of us just see a bunch of crybabies who got nerfed and are now just desperately trying to make it look like not getting the guy was their goal all along.
Yes,
this is
exactly.
literally the female equivalent to whatever, she was ugly anyway. But at least pickup artists have the decency to admit they're being players. You guys are still trying to make it look like you're doing something good by calling it humbling men.
They look ridiculous.
And really, you're just being needlessly shitty to them. How about we humble ourselves and be honest by changing the title of this series from How to Humble Toxic Men to How to Stay Chronically Single.
What valuable lessons I've learned on men. So counterintuitive, but it's true. Don't do anything for them. I know that sounds so f***ed up, especially if you're a giver. Don't do it. It is the worst thing you can do with them.
No!
The second that a man sees that you're willing to give equal to or more than what they're willing to give is the second that they stop valuing you.
What?
Men will never respond to your giving as example setting. They're never going to go, oh wow, she bends over backwards and goes out of her way for me, so I'm going to do that too. That's not how they work.
Never. So that advice was not good.
There was something.
This is exactly like when male pickup artists tell each other to neg women. If you don't know what negging is because you are an innocent angel, it is basically
Yeah, I
when
don't
you
know what it
speak
is.
so negatively to a woman that you damage her self-esteem enough to potentially give you a chance based purely out of
What the fuck? That is fucked up.
I'm
Disgusting.
not joking. And no, it doesn't actually work on anyone.
No.
That doesn't stop her from trying though.
There's only one reason why a man in a heterosexual relationship will not initiate sex with his woman. One reason only. Low self-confidence.
Well, isn't that convenient? The only thing that could possibly stop a man from begging for you is if he hates himself. But sadly, this is a thing that toxic people, actually believe. The last time I posted something about treating men well on Instagram, I got all kinds of comments like these. This is when their confidence boosts and they start cheating.
I don't even know what to say, man. I'm not gonna lie. What?
So I guess the whole idea behind this is they will not feel secure in their relationship unless their partner feels completely insecure. And if that concept makes sense to
that
you,
is
I'm
so
sorry
toxic.
for whatever you went through that makes you feel the need to control other people, but I feel the need to warn you, this little playbook has the shelf life of an ice cube. Look, we're done with pigeon mail, okay? This whole she's hard to get but she's cute thing might last 2 weeks tops in this day and age. But once he realizes that you aren't doing anything for him, he's initiating everything. You don't plan anything. You don't engage with him. You don't.
Bro, he has self-respect. He will see that and he will be out.
Why in the world would he stick around?
Yes.
If you aren't doing anything for him.
Anyone who has self-respect, men or women, whoever the would leave. That is just f***ed up and no one deserves to be treated like that.
What is the point of you being in his life?
Yes.
Now, I'll level with you here. I do agree that leading by example doesn't work. Me scrubbing the baseboards is not going to inspire my husband.
Yeah, you shouldn't do things because you want someone else to do it. That's just not how it works. Like, that way you will only get resentment because you thought that this idea in your head is gonna make them do that. No, you need to talk.
Just like my husband installing a new sink is not going to inspire me to install a new sink. But refusing to do anything for a person because of the chance that you might not get anything out of it, and then expecting to retain a higher value.
It is f***ed up to only be doing something in the first place just because you want that person to do something for you. That is dumb.
Because of your lack of effort is actually even more delusional. And look, you don't have to do anything for men, okay? You can keep going on and never take the chance of getting taken advantage of. But everyone who has ever loved and been loved has had to risk being taken advantage of, has had to risk doing selfless things with no reward. And if you don't want to risk it, that's fine. But whatever it is you're trying to have with men, don't call it a relationship, because what you want is one-sided. Okay, so I did not realize until I was married, but there is a secret measuring tool that men use that might help you out someday, and I will tell you about it through a story time. It's me, a brand new mom. I just had my daughter and TJ at the store, and I realized, like, man, I need some new nursing bras, but I have no idea what size I am because they've changed so much. My husband goes, hold up, I got this. Proceeds to walk up to them and just...
I knew it! What did he just do is something with his hands and he actually...
one. Until finally he goes, this one.
Oh,
and
God.
he was right. It was perfect.
Wow, that's funny.
Bye! Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please don't forget to give a like to the video and
A few moments later.
One guy, two girls, one guy, two girls, one guy.
Damn, it's a good thing that they had backup because that was not gonna end well. But anyways, man, welcome back to another video. If you're new, hit that like button and subscribe. We're dishing these out every day, man. Let's get it.
I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter.
I'm gonna knock out Austin because I'm an actual fighter and I got 2 guns right here.
Three of them is one of him. That's actually crazy to think about.
This guy is so strong, no one can beat him. But I'm gonna try to. First, I challenged him to arm wrestling. But that didn't go so well.
I could have told you that.
I tried challenging him to something that I'm actually good at, handstands.
He's already up.
And I was genuinely shocked when he beat me.
No, Brett, no!
Okay, damn. My guy is an all-around athlete.
Next up was tug of war, and I honestly didn't even
Why
stand
did
a
she
chance.
do that? Why even attempt this?
I thought I would finally be able to beat him at push-ups. But he won, yet again, and again, and again. Do you think that you could beat him?
Hell yeah, I could beat him. I could beat him with blindfold and one hand tied behind my back. In my dreams. That man is elite. I am not beating him.
There's a typical guy right here, doesn't want to make more than one trip. Did you get him all? How you gonna get the door? Go through the slider. How you gonna go through the slider? That's for my help. Mom, can you help me?
He's just like me for real, man. As a kid, no bags will be left behind, man. It's one trip or nothing. Even as an adult, I do that shit now. And if it takes me 2 trips, I'm not going back after the first one. The rest of the bags just go stay in the car for next time.
I'm sorry. Can I clean here? It's no problem. Can I clean? Oh. For legs?
For legs, yeah.
Oh, it's very beautiful exercise. It's really beautiful. Can I do with you?
You can try.
Yes?
Sure.
Train together, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe can I train with you? Так сказать, втроем. Можно? Да. Oh, it's good, wait. Yes. Whew. It's a magic. Thank you. Maybe you need a cleaning. You need clean.
Maybe we need to train with you.
Clean your home.
Maybe, yeah, you can clean our home.
Yes?
Yeah, it's done.
Very good. My name is Anatoly. I'm training only abs.
Okay.
Maybe I show you. I train only abs. Thank you.
Very good.
Have a good day.
I didn't expect him to lift that shit up with one hand. That is crazy. But it also made the girls wet. As y'all can see, they were mad impressed. They wanted to go home with him that day. And just because someone is strong doesn't necessarily mean that you are weak. So in one of my previous videos, I said that I've never seen a video of a woman carrying 2 people on their shoulders. And today I found that video. I stand corrected, bro. She's strong as shit. Look at her legs. Bro, she in that gym doing nothing but legs. God damn. A good amount of times, this is what happens. Like, we let the girl win to boost her ego so we can get up in there, you know what I'm saying? I'm a dive in it. All right, so here's a full police officer clip, man.
Oh shit, it's real out here.
2 girls, 1 guy. Let's see. I be wanting to help, but Two girls, 1 guy. 2 girls, 1 guy. 2 girls, 1 guy.
Put me on my back. Put me on my back. No. Put me on my back. Put me on my back.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is why female police officers travel with a male police officer. Sometimes you need some manpower. Because say for instance, if the man got away, they might pull the blicky out, pop, 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 you know what I'm saying?
I believe it is time to go. I've seen this trend a lot of girls being like, men are so strong, they can do whatever they wanted to us. And that's like kind of true, but also it's not. And I feel it fuels into men's like toxic superiority complex about being stronger than women. I have been in fights with grown men and won.
First of all, this video, she turned the comments off, so she's not trying to hear nothing. And I looked at her TikTok. She is a small Asian girl. She doesn't have a muscular build or anything. I don't see any fight videos on her channel to indicate that she has some fighting experience. I think she just fought somebody like Neon, who probably wasn't even trying to beat her.
Granted, it was only once or twice, but it was kind of a dangerous situation and I did win. If you think you're gonna lose the fight, it's already over for you. You have to believe that you can win.
Okay, this is a bit delusional, because say for instance, I've never fought a day in my life. Then I go up against a male UFC fighter and I believe I can win. And then I get my ass beat, concussion, broken ribs. But I believed I could win, right?
I'm a horseback rider. It's the one sport in the world that is not segregated between the genders. Men and women can both ride horses. And if I can control an 1,000-pound animal, I can get a man off my fucking back. Also, this trend makes men totally delusional. I saw a comment being like,
she talking about delusional. She been delusional this whole video. You are delusional.
A regular average man could totally defeat Ronda Rousey. And I was like, babes, I don't think so. It's possible for a woman to be stronger than a man. It's just not common. Remember, when fighting men, fight dirty.
Okay, that's probably the most sensible thing she said the whole entire video. For someone like Ronda Rousey to fight a male that has never fought a day in his life, she's more likely to win, if we're being honest. Look at this.
As a beginner who's never competed in judo and who has a white belt on, I've got to be honest. I don't think you have as much strength and can compete with a man, even though I'm a white belt.
You know how to push my buttons. That was exactly how to get me to throw you.
Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry.
I felt my ribs crush. I landed on my balls and my ribs.
Is this a genuine reaction?
She messed him up. You know what I'm saying? She messed him up. My guy got turned into a bitch. A bitch. But she's not gonna win when she's up against a male with fighting experience. Look at this.
But can Ronda Rousey do the same against a male mixed martial artist? Well, let's see. The challenge begins, and Ronda Rousey is the aggressor. She's trying to take him down, and when she does, it's easily reversed. So much so that our male fighter jokingly goes for a heel hook submission. Rousey doesn't like it and kicks him away. And in response, the male fighter takes it up a notch and lifts her easily in the air. Nothing she does can stop him from doing this. But then it happens again. He lets her know who's in control, and her elite judo throws cannot work against this particular opponent. No matter what she does, he has an answer for it. But wait, can she do something in this scramble? Nope, he grabs her leg and keeps her on the ground. And the session is over. His name is Gegard Mousasi, who outweighs Rousey by over 50 pounds. But can Ronda Rousey throw you around like the first guys? And make sure to follow us.
This man is fighting her with a smile on his face. He's having fun.
What are you doing? What are you... What are you doing? What are you...
Wait, come here. Wait, ven aquí.
Hands out. You about to knock me out. Don't. Stop. Playing around. Move. What are you doing?
I just want to see how strong you are.
if he dropped her, she would have given him no coochie that night. You know what I'm saying? She'd have been dried up like the Sahara Desert, like Mars. I know some women online will complain about men being stronger and whatnot, but if they're dating a man, they expect him to be stronger. They want him to be stronger because that way it shows that he can kind of protect her. It turns them on. Men look for a woman that's a nurturer. Women look for a man that's a protector, provider. And to protect, you have to be somewhat stronger than the person you're protecting, right? This man is the real life Hulk. This is crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. This man is pulling an airplane. The fuck? Now, of course, if you're in the gym training deadlifts, majority of the time, of course, you're going to be stronger than somebody that doesn't train it as much.
Never make the mistake of bringing your girlfriend near this guy, because he's so cool that he can carry these loads using just his shoulders, all while keeping his hands inside his pocket. Each bag is about 50 kilograms, but he's so talented that he can not only carry them, but also unload them correctly without dropping any of them. But despite his talent, he only gets paid $1 an hour for his work. Do you think he deserves $1 million?
$1 an hour? What kind of shit is this? This can't be in America, right? What country is this, by the way?
Can you fight? Professionally, no. On the streets, maybe. Okay. Go, 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 go.
Yep, she needs a gun.
You go. Can you fight?
She needs a weapon.
Yes.
Okay, and what makes you think that?
I got a black belt.
Okay, and what?
Black belt.
Taekwondo.
Black belt my ass! My guy took it to the ground, you know what I'm saying? He got a little bit of structure, you know what I'm saying? Ask me if I can fight. Oh, so now y'all mute? You mute now. Come on, ask me if I can fight. Hell yeah, I can fight. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to get into it, man? Y'all trying to get into it, man? Y'all probably got hit by all those barrage punches just now. Woo, I'm tired.